There's an island in the middle of the Indian Ocean where no outsider has ever lived to tell the story, where arrows fall from the trees like rain, where helicopters are met with war cries, where a civilization frozen in time has rejected the modern world at any cost. They don't want our help. They don't want our technology. They don't want peace. And yet, they're not primitive. They're organized, coordinated, strategically silent. This is North Sentinel Island, and the terrifying part is not just that we're not allowed to go there. It's that they've made sure no one ever can. What if I told you there's a place on this planet where modern time simply doesn't exist, where the people still live like their ancestors did over 60,000 years ago? And if you try to visit, you won't be welcomed. You'll be hunted. It's not on another continent. It's not lost in myth. It's real. And you can look at it right now on Google Maps. But if you get too close, the next image of you will be from a satellite, not a camera, because you won't be coming back. North Sentinel Island lies in the Bay of Bengal, a part of India by law, but not by reality. A tiny dot of land, barely the size of Manhattan, covered in dense jungle, surrounded by coral reefs, and protected not by walls or weapons, but by silence, secrecy, and sharpened arrows. No one knows exactly how many people live there. Estimates range from 50 to 500, but no one's sure, because no one's ever gotten close enough to count. They're called the Sentinelese, and they don't speak any known language. They don't use electricity. They don't grow crops. And yet, they've survived. For tens of thousands of years, they hunt, they gather, they fish, and they kill anyone who tries to enter. Back in 1880, British naval officer Maurice Vidal Portman led the first documented contact. He arrived with soldiers and supplies. He found the village deserted, huts left in a hurry, still smoldering fires, food left cooking. It was clear they had fled. Days later, his men found 6 of them hiding, 2 elders for children. He took them captive, brought them back to the mainland. But within days, the elders were dead. Diseases they'd never been exposed to ravaged their bodies instantly. Portman, in guilt or fear, sent the children back, along with gifts, bananas, coconuts, red cloth. What they brought back with them, no one knows. But after that moment, contact was over. In 1981, the MV Primrose, a cargo ship, ran aground near the island during a storm. The crew radioed frantically. They were being watched. Figures had appeared on the beach with spears. They were building boats. The men barricaded themselves in the engine room, holding metal rods to defend themselves. Rescue arrived just in time. But the islanders had made one thing clear. They were watching, and they were ready. Then in 2006, 2 fishermen anchored near the island at night to hunt crabs. Their boat drifted. They awoke to screams, then silence. A helicopter was dispatched. The pilot saw their bodies being dragged across the sand, pierced, broken, and buried. When he hovered closer, arrows shot up from the trees, dozens. He turned back. Their remains were never recovered. And then came John Allen Chow, a 26-year-old American missionary. Smart, fit, passionate, and convinced he had been chosen by God to bring the gospel to the Sentinelese. He trained for months, learned survival tactics, studied tribal behavior. He knew it was illegal to approach the island. He did it anyway. He paid fishermen to take him within paddle distance. He brought gifts, scissors, fish, a football, and a waterproof Bible. The first day, they shouted, shot an arrow that lodged in his Bible. He smiled, waved, retreated. The next day, he returned. He didn't come back. The fisherman watched from a distance as his body was dragged and buried. He was never recovered. His journal entry, left behind, ended with, "Do not blame the islanders if I die." But that's not the strangest part. The Sentinelese aren't just isolated, they're coordinated. They don't fight like disorganized villagers. They move in formation. They ambush. They vanish into the jungle like ghosts. Their weapons are primitive, yet always deadly. Their defenses impenetrable. Their communication, completely undeciphered. Linguists have never recorded a single clear phrase. Not one word is linked to any other known language. It may be the oldest living language on Earth, or one that didn't evolve with ours at all. And then there are the satellite images. In 2017, deep scan imaging picked up strange, symmetrical clearings in the jungle. Perfect circles, clean geometry, unnatural for random tribal activity. Some believe they're burial sites. Others say they're ritual grounds. But a few whisper something darker. The signs of something ancient hidden below the trees. There was a strange silence between 1945 and 1967. Over 2 decades of complete blackout. No records, no missions, no photos. And yet, fishermen from nearby islands reported seeing strange lights from the jungle at night. Blue fires, moving in patterns. One man claimed he saw a man walking across the water. Another said he saw glowing figures near the trees, eyes that never blinked. When the Indian Navy was questioned, they denied all operations. But leaked papers suggest otherwise. One declassified memo from the 1970s reads, "Operation suppressed. Defensive aggression higher than expected. Recommend full termination of inland surveys." Was something discovered on the island that day? The idea that the Sentinelese are just protecting themselves is what most believe. They're defending their way of life, their health, their culture. But is that really all? Because the further we look, the less it adds up. Why do they defend the island so aggressively, even when no threat is present? Why has no disease, no drought, no disaster ever wiped them out? Why do they survive like a people not bound by modern evolution? Some believe the island itself is sacred. Others think the tribe was placed there not as inhabitants, but as guards. Guards of something buried, something that must never wake. Sonar scans have detected cavities beneath the surface of the island. Vast, echoing chambers that bounce back on natural tones. Too geometric, too perfect, not lava tubes, not erosion, something else. And here's what might send chills down your spine. Several times, military satellites have picked up metallic signals from beneath the island. Short bursts, repeating patterns, then silence. What are the Sentinelese protecting? Why does the island resist every form of approach? From air, from sea, from spirit? And why, in every myth, every whisper, every story told by surrounding islanders, do they all refer to the same thing? Not to the tribe, not to the jungle, but to what lies beneath. Some say it's a ruin from a lost civilization. Others believe it's a remnant of something not of this earth. But one thing is clear, no one wants us to find it. And the Sentinelese? They've sworn to keep it buried, even if it means killing every single outsider who comes near. We think we're the top of the food chain, the masters of the map, the owners of the earth. But maybe North Sentinel Island is the earth reminding us we're not in control. Some places were never meant to be discovered. Some truths were never meant to be unearthed. And some islands are not lost. They're hidden on purpose because what's under them was never meant to be found. This is Timeless, where mysteries of civilizations is unraveled. Subscribe and stay tuned.